Greetings to our brothers and sisters in the Free Trade Union Confederation of Latvia. I very much regret that we can't be with you at this important Congress. We know how you are fighting to strengthen social dialogue, to make sure that collective bargaining and a deep system of compliance is at the heart of shared prosperity. And we've watched with pride the way you've fought to protect workers' rights through the pandemic. It seems like a forever virus, but with you on their side, the working men and women of Latvia have hope. So thank you to the leadership, the executive, and of course to the delegates. We absolutely urge you to keep up that fighting spirit, to lay the foundations for the next term of office and the priorities that you know workers want you to tackle. For the global trade union movement, the ITUC is demanding a new social contract. It includes these priorities. Indeed, we have 5 key global demands, and then we encourage not only affiliates to take up those demands, but to add their own that are specific to their country or groups of workers or communities. Our 5 demands are jobs, jobs and jobs, climate-friendly jobs with just transition. They are return to a genuine era of decent work with fundamental rights, with occupational health and safety as a fundamental right, which we will fight for at the ILO conference next year. And indeed, we want to see impunity for corporations ended with mandated due diligence and compliance. And we look not only to the UN treaty to deliver that, but to the EU, who has promised mandated due diligence. We need universal social protection. There is no resilience if in fact we don't have those fundamental elements of care, our public services with health, education, childcare, aged care, but also if we don't have incomes that actually guarantee people survival in terms of shocks, whether it's a personal shock, a national shock, or a global shock, being it climate, or indeed, in this case, the health pandemic. We want equality. We want equality of incomes with minimum living wages and collective bargaining, but indeed we also want equality of gender and of race. Women were the largest victims of the pandemic. Not only the majority who were on our front lines as essential workers, but indeed women lost $800 billion of income through the pandemic. That's an enormous loss. And if we had gender equality genuinely, we would add some 13 trillion to the global economy. And we want inclusion. We want the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals with Goal 8 around decent work and full employment. We want to see our broken labour market repaired with secure formal jobs and a formalisation of the jobs that the 60% of our brothers and sisters depend on for survival, with no rights, no minimum wage, no rule of law. We want to see new technology-driven jobs regulated so that workers have decent work, and we want to see peace and inclusion. We need to meet the test of the climate emergency. There is much work for us to do, but without recognising that working people and their jobs and decent working standards with rights and social protection and just wages are at the heart of a sustainable future, then we will not see the future we want. These things are worth fighting for, and I congratulate you on your strength.